We've had some wonderful examples, and I've learned so much already this evening, so I want to start by just thanking you for the opportunity to be here. I've learned a lot from the presenters already. One of the things that struck me was the comment that once you realize that you're on this planet for a reason, that you have one opportunity to be here, that if you're not living your passion while doing what you're doing, you might have to leave. I was in a unique situation where the company I work for is a family business. We're fourth generation, and I'm currently the president and CEO. But when I came back to the family business many years ago, I decided that I was going to run my department differently. And I decided that we were going to have a vision that we were all going to work towards together, something that was better than just making a profit. This was probably about 20 years ago. And it worked so well that they said, well, maybe you should be in charge of this division. And then that worked so well, they said, maybe you should be in charge of more divisions. And eventually they put me in charge of the entire organization. So today, I want to stand before you and say that yes, it can work. And if you're blessed enough to be in a situation where you can influence how you run your department or your division, you truly can make a difference. And if you can't, then I'll support what was said earlier, you may want to leave. But find yourself in a situation where you can live your personal passion. So a little bit of perspective about myself. So this is who I am. I am a mother of two amazing daughters. The organization that I'm currently running, we have gone through unbelievable hyper-growth over the past several years. Over $100 million growth every year, year over year. We started with less than 200 employees, and now we're up over 1,300. Just incredible amount of growth. And it's become a brand that's not just in the United States anymore, but we're truly becoming global. We're not as strong in France yet, but hopefully after all of you get a little exposure to me, you will help me bring this brand to France. And I'm not going to talk about our product today. You're going to have to go out and do some research on your own. I'm going to talk about who we are as people. But in addition to all of that, I'm actually a student again. I've decided to go back and get my PhD because I wanted to understand what's happening and why this personal passion of following my purpose was so successful. I knew that it was working, but I knew it was working because it's what I wanted. 20 years ago, I almost lost my life. I was very, very sick. And at that moment, when I heard the doctor say to my mom, we're really hoping that she's going to be able to come home at all. It's when I realized, whoa, I haven't even lived yet. I have not done what I want to do while I'm on this planet. So that statement earlier about you have one chance to be here, you truly do. And you have no idea when that one opportunity that you have may be cut short. I was reminded again just a couple weeks ago because I was in a terrible car accident. And at that very moment, I was able to walk away, but I may not have. If there had been a car coming the other way, I may not have. So you don't know how much time you have. And if you haven't discovered your personal passion, then you probably want to figure out what that is and take advantage of every moment that you have. It's because I am so purpose-driven that I believe I'm able to do all those things, be a wife, be a mom, run a company, navigate through incredible growth, and go back and study this very concept of personal purpose. But this is why I'm studying it. Is because too many people don't figure it out until the end of their life. And all of a sudden, they think, I want a do-over. Now I want to go back, and I want to do what matters. Now I want to put my whole being into something. When we're following a personal passion, we're so much more engaged. We're personally motivated and driven to accomplish something. So the other thing I started studying was personal purpose, but the other one was company purpose. And I get the opportunity to do that. So now that I'm leading the organization, I wanted to make sure that as a company, we had something that we were focused on that was so much bigger than the bottom line. We're a privately held family company. I get it. We get to do that. But because we get to do that, I want to make sure that we do it in spades. I want to make sure that we give everyone the opportunity to live their dreams. So I just want to share for a couple of minutes of how we've been able to do that. And maybe there's something about my story that might resonate, or maybe you can take away and it might help somebody else. That would be my reason for coming all the way over here to share. So in my research, I've been studying, as I mentioned, personal purpose and company higher purpose. I have my own testing ground at Vitamix, which is wonderful. But my research was a qualitative study done of other organizations that have a higher purpose. And then I did a quantitative study. What's on the screen is the results of the quantitative research. The qualitative research said, hands down, people do want to have a personal purpose. These were executives in companies, and they said, yes, I want, my life matters. These were people that were far enough along in their career that they had discovered that they really did want to make their life matter. But they also were able to connect to their company's higher purpose and make alignment between the two of them. And the word I chose is this symbiotic relationship, where their personal purpose was benefiting the company, and the company's higher purpose gave them an opportunity to breathe and live and do their personal purpose. So it's a symbiotic relationship. But the quantitative research was fascinating, because if you see, the personal purpose has a bigger impact on an employee's engagement than the company having a higher purpose. What that means is there's research where a lot of organizations are going out there and trying to come up with a higher purpose. And if we're doing something besides just the bottom line, our employees can relate to it. Well, this research says if you're doing something about more than the bottom line, that's great, but also help your employees realize that they matter, and what they're trying to do absolutely matters as well. The level of impact on company commitment wasn't as strong, but it's still try to say that 3 times. I can't even say it in English. Statistically significant that having a personal purpose impacts your commitment to the organization. But the third was even more exciting. Company purpose does not impact a person's satisfaction with their life. This may be very logical, but having a personal purpose does. In the purpose that people had was not connected to their company purpose. This was simply them saying, I know what I want to do with my life, and I feel like I'm making meaning somewhere in my life. It didn't necessarily have a symbiotic relationship in the quantitative research. So just helping employees discover who they are and what they want to do in their lifetime will help with engagement and commitment. And so I take this a little bit further and say if you can increase the level of involvement employees have in making decisions, and you can increase their level of ownership, what I've done at Vitamix is I've taken it a step further and I've gone to a culture of empowering people through alignment. Well, what does empowering people through alignment mean? Part of what that means is to create a culture of self-inspired individuals. They're aligned, they're achieving their own personal purpose, and finding the personal purpose that's symbiotic with the vision of the organization. Now, I told you a moment ago that the quantitative research didn't say it was symbiotic. I'm taking it to a symbiotic level. But to give you an example, many of you have received a copy of this card. This is something that we use internally with our organizations. Usually only Vitamix employees would have this card. But it talks about who we are as a company. It talks about our vision, what we want to achieve. And that vision is to improve the vitality of people's lives and to liberate the world from conventional food and beverage preparation boundaries. Yeah, that's a mouthful in English. I don't know how to translate that. But it's making a difference in people's lives. It's changing the way people think about food. When I talk about a symbiotic relationship, I have a chief financial officer who's one of his personal passions in life is to help create an iconic brand. His passion is not to improve the vitality of people's lives necessarily. He thinks that's a wonderful vision, and he agrees with it. But his personal passion is to help us create an iconic brand. The beauty of that is, I don't have to do that. I simply need to give him the tools and the resources to make that possible, because he is personally engaged in doing that, and I need to get out of the way. We will become an iconic brand if our customers will allow us to be, because of the work that he's doing, because that's what he cares about. I have a chief financial officer who happens to be my cousin, and one of her personal purposes in life is to help this organization transfer into the next generation. I don't have to worry about that. But the beauty of it is, if I have somebody helping us stay a family business and transfer into the 5th generation, and I have somebody who's helping us become an iconic brand, and I'm focusing on improving the vitality of people's lives, chances are we're going to be a lot more successful in achieving all 3 of those goals because it's not the vision of one person, it's the symbiotic nature of different people coming together to create that brand. So very quickly, I wanted to talk for a couple minutes about how I personally do that, and it's going to be on this slide. So we're going to stay on this slide. Whoop, not that one. This one. We're going to stay on this slide for a couple of minutes. And I connected it to the word dance just to make it easier for people to remember. But the D stands for determining what that destiny is, determining what your personal passion is, determining who you want to be when you grow up. So as an organization on this card, you see our vision statement, and I read it. That talks about why we're here as a company. Why are we on the planet? Why does a company like Vitamix exist? We are doing good for the world, and guess what? We're doing financially well also. So we are doing good and we're doing well. We have a profit sharing program so our employees can benefit from the profits when we're a profitable organization. And we've been able to pay out that profit sharing multiple times over the years. So we know that we're doing well, our employees know that we're doing well, but they also know that we're doing good. And they get to be a part of making a difference while they're on the planet. So really determine what that destiny is. That's what our vision statement is. A lot of the rest of what's on this card, it goes with the A, and that's align your world. So not only do we have a vision, but I want to draw your attention to another section called our values. How we created the values for our organization was we used a process called appreciative inquiry. And if you haven't heard of AI or appreciative inquiry yet, what that is it's going in and it's capturing the essence of something that's already very, very positive that exists. So we had a group come in and work with our employees, and we interviewed 98% of our employees. And we asked them the question, what is it that you value most about this organization more than anything else? What is it that you do not want us to change? The reason I had to ask that question was we were about ready to go through some very rapid growth. I saw the possibility. I saw it coming. And I needed everyone to, one, be aligned, but two, I needed to be able to change the entire organization. I needed to transform the organization. In order to do that, I needed them to have a lifeline. What is it that you want to hang on to, that you do not want me to change, so I can change everything else around you? And that's where we came up with these values. What values your organization picks doesn't actually matter. It's that those are the values that the people within your organization connect to personally. Why is this so important? Because when you think about the people that you're closest to, you think about your family and you think about your friends, one of the reasons that you feel so safe around your family and friends is because you share values. Because you know, at the end of the day, you don't have to pretend to be somebody else because they will value a lot of the same things that you value. Imagine yourself working with an entire organization where they value the same things that you value. So not only do I have employees that feel safe, but I have employees that don't have to spend their energy trying to make somebody else happy. They spend all of their energy trying to make this organization do well. They spend all of their energy bringing our vision to life, taking care of our customers, because they can feel safe and protected in doing that. And their focus and their energy and their drive, sometimes I can't turn them off. People say, what do you do? One of my jobs is to walk around the company and say, go home. Go see your family. Take some time off. Because they're so driven. They're so driven to make things happen and to be successful. The third one is the network of people and creating that safety net. The interesting thing about having a network of people around you is you don't want to be surrounded by people that agree with you. You want to be surrounded by people that care about you. Because if you truly care about a person, you're not necessarily always going to agree with them. And I think that's what Henry was just saying. At least that's the translation I got. Sometimes it's the difficult things that you have to tell somebody, but you're going to tell them because you care about them. And if you have that mutual respect, they're going to be able to hear the same thing from you. So surround yourself with that network of people. But the safety net is just as important. Because even somebody who's going to walk on a trapeze artist, they don't practice their craft without the net, right? They have a net. They're not going to take any chances. If you have a safety net, if you have people that are going to catch you if you fall, if you have people that are going to reach out and say, whoa, 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 you're just a wee bit close to the edge. If you have those people, then you'll feel more comfortable going out and doing things that you wouldn't normally be prepared or willing to do otherwise. So create a safety net. The fourth one we've also talked about today, which is take care of yourself first. Not in a selfish way, but in a way where that you know who you are and you know what you need. And when you get on the airplane and they say, when the oxygen mask comes down, put it on yourself first before you put it on your children, we've all heard that. That's because you don't do anybody any good at all passed out in the aisle. Now people have to step over you, right? They have to work around you. If you have a vision, if you have a personal purpose, if you have something that you want to achieve in your lifetime, it's your passion. Make sure that you take care of yourself physically, emotionally, psychologically, intellectually, so that you're able to be at your absolute best and you can make your personal passion happen in your lifetime. Better yet, make it possible so that your personal passion can transcend your lifetime. My personal passion is to help people discover that they have wings and teach them how to fly. I can do the things that I do because that passion is something I get to do as a mom. So when I'm with my girls, when I'm with my family, I'm not stretched. Do I spend time here or do I spend time there? When I'm with my girls, and even when I'm not, I'm finding other ways to make sure that they can learn about who they are, they can discover their wings, and they can fly. When I'm at work, whether I'm at work or whether I'm not at work, I'm still helping all of our employees figure out who they are, what's their personal passion, and how can they be happy and they can find joy and peace and a long-term satisfaction of creating their dreams and making their dreams happen. I'm hoping that all of our customers, by giving them a tool to help them eat healthier, by empowering them to change their diet and be able to get more fruits and vegetables and healthy food in, that they'll be able to have more energy, that they'll be able to be empowered to do what they want to do in a lifetime. And that's why I can go to school at the same time and study this. It's because this incredible alignment and taking care of myself, that's what I want to do. I get energy. I come home from work at the end of the day, and my family is like, please, calm down. I have too much energy. My husband decided years ago that I was no longer allowed to have caffeine. He said, you are bad enough without caffeine. So I have not had caffeine in 15 years. It's the biggest stimulus you could possibly get. And the last one, that E, embrace the process and enjoy it. We truly have one lifetime. And you don't know how long of a lifetime that is. And we have a chance to have an impact, have a positive impact on our generation. But better yet, if you allow your personal passion to be big enough, if you focus and you determine your destiny and you align your world around it and you network and you get other people involved and you have other people join you, you will be able to make a personal difference on this planet for generations to come. This generation is one of the sickest generations that we've ever had. And it's all partially because of the food that we eat. Part of what drives me and how I can bring my personal passion of giving people wings to fly is I happen to be at a company that created a product that makes healthy eating taste amazing and be very, very simple to do. I'm hoping that people will embrace this, and by changing how we eat, we'll be able to change the life of people for generations to come. I feel like we're building a cathedral that people will be able to come to and appreciate and embrace their own personal passion for generations to come. So in closing, thank you so much again for the opportunity to be here. It is so energizing to be surrounded by so many people that truly believe in your hearts that if we come together, we truly can make a difference. Thank you for choosing to make a difference, and thank you for choosing to dance.